Hello and happy Monday, everybody. Here's what's coming up tonight on Now, the new tax plan unveiled by the president. A lot of people debating whether they like it or not. Well, we went to one Maine town that really likes it, and we'll tell you why.
Plus, a freak accident in Maine leaves a little 4-year-old boy without a leg. His community is rallying support, but there is a twist to this story.
Also, the Patriots without Gronk for a game. What do you think about that? We want to hear from you.
This is News Center now.
I think that will help keep money in this country.
I just have some uneasy feelings, and I just can't see anything good coming from it.
In the aftermath of the Senate's historic tax plan vote, the nation is divided. Some believe the plan will offer much-needed tax relief. Others think we're headed for crippling debt. Good evening, everyone. I'm Amanda Hill.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. President Trump said he wanted to give America a tax break for Christmas, and his supporters are ecstatic that Congress is pushing through the legislation.
Today, Tennyson Coleman went to the Maine community with the most votes for President Trump in 2016 to see how the people there feel about this bill.
Last year, we told you that Charleston is the Trumpiest town in Maine, with 74% of its population voting for President Trump in last year's election. Well, this year, with the recent tax bill that has been receiving a lot of pushback, we decided to ask some folks here who voted for President Trump what they think about the bill, a bill that he pushed for. Two Trump supporters from Charleston, Maine.
One of the things that they seem to be real happy with is the way the president supports the country.
Well, I like the things that he said about, helping the small people and getting back to the way things used to be.
With two different views on the Senate tax bill.
I think that will help keep money in this country and keep business in this country.
I just don't see anything good coming out of big taxes, and hopefully small tax cuts might help. I don't know.
Barry Higgins is the owner of Maple Lane Farms in Charleston, providing fresh meat for businesses and consumers in Maine. He believes provisions in the bill, such as raising the tax deduction for pass-through businesses, will help small business owners like himself stay afloat. I
believe that we're going to have a pretty good tax break on it, which we need. That bill comes hard every year, and it isn't something we're going to put in the savings bank. We'll reinvest it, probably create some more jobs.
Citing history.
Seemed after the big Reagan tax break, we had several years of improving economy.
But Michael Morrison, a retired game warden, is not quick to agree.
I just have some uneasy feelings, and I just can't see anything good coming from it.
Despite their differing viewpoints on the tax bill, both Higgins and Morrison remain hopeful about Donald Trump's presidency.
Well, I think we need to give him a chance.
I know sometimes his tweets are a little raw, but I think that's the only way he can get his message out.
In Charleston, Tennyson Coleman, News Center.
Now that a version of the bill is through the House and the Senate, the two bodies have to compromise and create one final product.
Yeah, we caught up with 1st District Congresswoman Shelley Pingree this morning just before she went back to Washington, D.C. She shared her thoughts on Senator Susan Collins' decision to support the tax plan.
Everyone in our jobs has to make a decision that fits for them. Both Susan and Bruce voted in favor of it. You know, maybe they felt it would give them a chance to have more influence on it. I know that Senator Collins tried to negotiate a lot of pieces into it. Perhaps they'll have an influence in the conference committee, but I think you see our delegation split.
The Senate.
Now tonight, only on News Center, you'll be able to hear how Senator Collins came to this tough decision. Pat Callahan spoke to the moderate Republican this afternoon, and he will have a live update from our nation's capital coming up in the next half hour.
All right, for those of you waiting for December snow, it could be on the way.
Keith is here with a first look at what could be a white forecast. What's going on, Casey?
That is true, guys. First, though, we have a rainstorm, and then we'll talk about the potential snow in a minute. First,
Temperatures in the upper 30s, right around 40 degrees today. Relatively decent day, but some clouds coming in from the west. That's our next storm system that I just mentioned. This will be a rainer for us because of where the warm front is right here. It's going to lift through very quickly overnight tonight, leaving us in the mild air tomorrow. So rain breaks out tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow night. We'll see very little in the way of mixing with this particular storm. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. Clouds move in tonight. Temperatures actually warm through the evening as we get into that warm sector. A few flakes early are possible tomorrow, but most of us are just straight rain starting tomorrow afternoon. And it gets heavy by tomorrow night with a couple of downpours in here around 11:30 over southern Maine, maybe later over down east Maine. Early in the morning on Wednesday, it is raining. It's raining heavily with a little back end snow in the mountains and then moving out of here for Wednesday midday or so. Not only quite a bit of rain, but also some gusty winds. We'll talk more about that, and as you mentioned, there could be some snow in the forecast.
Gronk, this is going to get flagged.
Oh, Gronk's 100%.
Ooh.
Patriot Nation might have to prepare to be Gronkless, at least for one game. Rob Gronkowski's been suspended for one game by the NFL after the play hit in Buffalo. Gronk has appealed the suspension. If it's upheld, though, he will miss next Monday night's game in Miami against the Dolphins. Lots of opinions on this one. We want to hear from you, so sound off right now on our Facebook live stream. Is this punishment fair? We'll chat about what you have to say a little bit later on Now.
I'll tell you, I watched that yesterday, and that's a lot of weight coming down on you.
That had to hurt.
Yep. Not so good news for Patriots fans, but Maine Black Bear fans had something to cheer about yesterday. Former Black Bear Pat Ricard scored his first NFL touchdown yesterday for the Ravens in their game with the Lions. Making this a little more special is that Ricard is a former All-American defensive lineman. His versatility helped him land a spot as an undrafted free agent, and he sees some time as fullback as well as defensive line. Now back on campus today in Orono, a group of male athletes got together to hold a press conference about preventing violence against women.
Several different sports are represented in the new campaign. The men will be out handing out white ribbons this week. The white ribbon is a personal pledge never to commit, condone, nor remain silent about violence against women.
As you know, athletes, in this community, people notice you. So, if a guy my status and people that look up to me, if I can say no to something that's wrong and not right, this is real important to me, just making a change and making a difference.
There will be a table at the UMaine basketball game so athletes can talk to fans about the cause and hand out white ribbons.
All right, dog owners, listen up to this one. If you have Facebook, you've probably already seen this video. It appears to show a dog kennel employee roughing up a husky. The video was taken at the Blue Dog Daycare in Brunswick and has been seen on Facebook more than 10,000 times. The employee in the video was fired, and just today, the Brunswick Animal Control Officer informed the daycare's owner that there would be no animal abuse charges. Officer Heidi Nelson told News Center, as stupid as the behavior in the video was, it was not something that would require a summons. Nelson says somebody alerted the Brunswick Police Department to the video. She then showed it to the district attorney, who said it was not worthy of a summons. Facebook wants to make sure that your kids are staying safe online, so they're putting you, the parents, in charge of their messages. We will tell you how that all works coming up next.
And it's official, a pharmacy giant wants to buy into the health insurance market. What this could mean for your health care coming up.
Coming up tonight on 207, there are countless collections of baseball memorabilia in the U.S., but there may not be anything quite like the collection recently acquired by Colby College. What makes it so different, and what does it tell us about America? Find out tonight on 207.
President Donald Trump is once again in the running to be Time's Person of the Year, but so is one of his biggest adversaries, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The magazine released their shortlist for 2017 Person of the Year this morning. Others on the list, former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick, whose decision to take a knee against racial inequality inspired and outraged people nationwide. Patty Jenkins, making history as the first female director of an American studio superhero movie, Wonder Woman. And Robert Mueller, the former FBI director, now special counsel, leading the investigation into Russian influence and interference in the 2016 presidential election.
There are two movements being considered as well. Me Too, designed to combat sexual harassment and violence, and the Dreamers, undocumented immigrants brought here to the United States by their parents as children. You can see the full list of nominees on our website. All right, it's a $69 billion deal that could change how you pay for prescriptions, book a doctor's appointment, or even how much you have to pay for premiums.
CVS has announced a deal to buy insurance giant Aetna, but it's far from final. Jay Gray has a closer look at the transaction and what it could mean for you.
Any pain? No.
It is a move some say could change the face of health care in the U.S.
It's going to transform what doctors do, what nurses do, and I think where health care takes place to get it into a lower-cost, community-based setting.
CVS has announced a deal to buy insurance giant Aetna, a $69 billion transaction pairing close to 10,000 drugstores and 1,100 walk-in clinics with an insurance provider that covers more than 20 million people.
It's really the perfect time to bring these two companies together to create a new healthcare platform that can be easier to use and less expensive for consumers and really create a new front door to healthcare in our country.
It's not clear how the deal might impact prescription drug costs. It is expected to bring a broad new customer base for CVS, which has added walk-in clinics to many of its outlets over the last few years, creating a single stop where patients can have blood drawn, visit a nurse, and pick up prescriptions.
We have the opportunity here to begin to bend that cost curve and at the same time help people achieve their best health.
Antitrust regulators must still approve the purchase. Jay Gray, NBC News.
If your kid is begging you for a Facebook page, but you're a little bit worried about what they could get into online, the social media site may have the solution you're looking for.
Facebook is launching a messaging app for kids. The app will allow children to communicate with their parents and parent-approved friends. It is connected to the parents' Facebook accounts. Parents are the only ones that can add friends or delete messages. Children under the age of 13 aren't allowed to have their own accounts on Facebook under the company's rules, although many obviously do. So this could be a way for you to keep an eye on your children's social media presence.
Okay, so we asked what you thought about the new tool. Jessica says as a parent, she thinks this is a good thing. She sees no problem here, but Rebecca says she can see this going very, very wrong. Barbe agrees, saying she doesn't care how many controls are in place. Any creep can pretend to be a kid online. Her kids won't be using this messenger. All right, do we have a soundbite or no?
Okay, still to come.
Somebody saying, oh, I think I know. I know.
His grandson is facing one of the most difficult challenges in life, but his family and friends will be there to support him through it all. That emotional story coming right up.
And some rainy days might be ahead. KC coming up with the full forecast.
Laying in the sand, and next thing I know, he hollered to me. I looked, and I said, oh my God, his legs are under that bucket.
A terrifying accident sends a 4-year-old boy to the hospital with a severed leg. Police say his grandfather's immediate actions, the man you just heard from, saved his life.
Back in October, 4-year-old Adam Matson was playing by a front-end loader at his home in New Vineyard. Police say it was parked and the bucket was lowered, but not leveled, and it gave way, landing on top of Adam. His leg could not be saved.
Tonight, the story shifts to Adam's neighbors and their generosity. Katie Ortiz is here to explain. Hey, Katie.
Hey, Lee and Amanda. Little Adam has gone through at least 6 surgeries since that accident on October 23rd. He's down at Boston Children's Hospital, where he will spend the holidays recovering, which is why the community is doing whatever they can to make sure his life is nothing but normal before he gets to come home.
Oh, he's a special little kid. He's just, if you see him, everybody loves him.
It's hard to deny a big smile like this one from 4-year-old Adam Matson.
He's just a pleasant little boy. Yeah. We take him to all the fairs, and he loves monster truck shows, demolition derby.
He's no doubt the love and light of his family, which makes the unthinkable, almost the unspeakable, for his grandfather and his legal guardian, Sam Kennedy.
Just something that you just don't keep talking about, because I'll just start crying, you know. He's my little buddy. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. You look a shadow to me. This hurts.
Adam was outside in his yard when the bucket of a front-end loader dropped and severed his leg. It's been 2 months, but the journey from here on out will be a painful one. Sadly, Sam knows this all too well.
I lost my leg when I was a child, too. I was 8 years old. My father lugged me from way over on the other side of the field, and he got hurt over on this side, you know. How ironic it happened to the same farm, you know. Just unreal.
The same awful incident strikes again, 44 years and 2 generations later, something Sam says he and his little boy will go through together.
He has me to look forward to. I can tell him things that I've experienced, and it ain't going to be somebody saying, oh, I think I know. I know.
Sam says modern medicine will help his grandson more than it ever helped him. But fellow Mainers are doing their part too.
Oh, they've been awesome people. Do little suppers and things like that, and people come help with the porch.
Volunteers with an outreach program are building a ramp with donated materials. Collection jars are out in nearby Farmington. Money is collected every Sunday Mass.
It's heartwarming to see how much people care and to know that you're actually part of that community.
A community that, without question, will never let Adam go without.
Knock on wood, we're going to be all right.
There is a GoFundMe page set up for the family. If you'd like to check that out, we'll have that on our website and mobile apps shortly after the show. And Adam is staying at Boston Children's Hospital if you'd like to send him something for the holidays. Leanne, Amanda.
At least positive outlook.
Yeah, I know. And that poor grandfather. I mean,
oh my
just,
gosh.
You know,
what you were just saying, what are the chances? Yeah.
I mean, different accidents, but same outcome. Is
right.
It's freaky. At least he had a sense of humor at the end, knock on wood. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, in the meantime, as you mentioned, we gave Lee a little sneak peek of this pattern change that I had been talking about last weekend. If I was going to be wrong, I was just going to forget I ever said it. But now that it looks right, I'm going to mention it again, which is going to bring us colder and snowier weather. First, we have this storm to get through, and this is going to be a rainer for us as it moves in. The warm front lifting to the north tonight. There it is right there. A couple of snow showers early tomorrow morning over Aroostook County, maybe into the mountains. Otherwise, clouds increase for most of us. Temperatures increase overnight as well. And then tomorrow, the rain starts breaking out in the early to late afternoon, depending on your location, and then getting heavy overnight tomorrow. Downpours in there. It's going to be all rain until early Wednesday morning when they get a little snow in the mountains on the backside. But this is a rainer for pretty much everyone. Temperatures are going to be mild, and it's going to be windy as well as this blows on through. We clear out for Wednesday afternoon, then Thursday and Friday look pretty decent. Rainfall amounts, though, from this storm system should be pretty significant, an inch or so in most spots. I could definitely see areas over the mid-coast and down east that could get an inch and a half of rain from this storm relatively quickly, and again, most of that happens tomorrow night. Gusty winds are something we have to watch. It looked a little bit worse last week in the wind department. These are going to be noticeably gusty, but shouldn't do any real damage. Wind gusts of 48 to 50 miles an hour here in Portland tomorrow night and into Rockland as well. And then the max probably coming in around Rockland around midnight and then moving out as we head into Wednesday morning. So noticeably breezy, certainly could knock over some branches. I don't think we're going to have widespread power outages. Here's the pattern change, though, as we head to late in the week and into the weekend. Nice trough set up such that the jet stream is right over us, and then after that, a big shot of cold around the middle of the month. That cues up several storm chances. Computer models still trying to figure this all out, but it's conceivable we have 3 chances of snow in the next 10 days. The first one coming in Saturday morning with a little light snow, and then a second storm comes in on Sunday. That could be more significant as far as accumulation. Snow squalls on Monday, and then another storm rotates around for Wednesday of next week. So again, 3 or more chances of snow. We'll have to iron out the details. I like Sunday and I like next Wednesday the most of those two. You might not like any of them. I don't know. It depends on what you're into. But we'll put snow possible. The weekend does look certainly interesting. The question, of course, as it always is, guys, is track. And it's just too far away to say for sure what the track is. I could see us whiffing on 1 out of 3 of them. I could see us getting all 3. It's just the pattern is good. We'll have to see how that translates into actual snow. We should have a better idea as far as that goes on Wednesday of what the weekend will truly look like. But after that, cold. That's why I like our chances of a white Christmas. A couple of chances of snow and then cold after that would only give us 5 days to burn the snow off or so before Christmas. So.
All I can see is Jess Conley jumping up and down over the Weather Center.
Right,
so that's all I see.
It's a nerd problem. I get it.
Okay.
Thanks, Keith. All right, the battle over farmland is playing out in Portland, where a developer has received the initial green light for a 123-unit housing project at Camelot Farm near Westbrook Street.
So it's a story that's very familiar to these farmers who are fighting to keep farmland protected in our state. Today in Augusta, they gathered for the Farmland Access Conference. They're sharing ideas and education about conservation, sustainability, and land transfer. That's when an older farmer who wants to retire transfers the farm to either a younger family member or just a younger farmer. Amanda Beal's family just went through that. They own a dairy farm in Litchfield.
Yeah, well, like a lot of farmers, they really are always investing their money back into their farm, and they're not tucking it away. And so what you often have is a farm owner who, when they are ready to retire, not having that access to cash and the ability to just step back and stop doing what they're doing unless they actually sell their business or sell some part of it.
News Center's Tori Ryden will have more on what farmers are actually facing coming up tonight at 6 o'clock.
Let's find out what's coming up on News Center at 5:30. For that, we check in with Cindy Williams. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, guys. One Maine family is really struggling with a series of incidents that no family in Maine should have to face. A car crash, then a criminal trial, and a suicide, all within their family. We're going to talk to them about how they're staying strong during such a tragic time. And the miracle of birth, thanks to a modern medicine, a new baby has been welcomed in the world because of a first ever uterus transplant. It's happened in other places, not in the U.S. We'll tell you about it. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Cindy. Now continues after this.
So one of my favorite parts of when it gets cold is no more flies, no more mosquitoes, no more things to swat.
Creatures.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's
No
true.
more swattable thing. I like that.
Particularly flies, apparently. They just did this new everybody goes to Scientific Reports daily, right? That's
Homepage.
like
Every day.
right, kind of
Everyday
homepage thing.
page.
Oh, they did this. They always knew that flies transmitted bacteria, but they did a study to find out how much. They took 116 flies from 3 different continents and found that they had 600 types of bacteria total on their legs and their wings. What they also realized is that they were very effective at depositing that bacteria when they landed. So they were able to kind of scrub out a track of where these flies had walked. The scary thing about this is they're linking it to some pretty serious things. For example, they found 15 flies carrying the bacteria that is linked strongly to stomach ulcers. And so their conclusion was that the medical community in general, around the world, is maybe not taking flies seriously enough as far as spreading bacteria and because of that, some diseases.
Just flies, not things that bite you, just
no,
flies
this
that
is
fly
not
around.
any kind of infusion of blood or whatnot. This is
Right.
just them spreading all these things around and you touching them and affecting you. So it's kind of interesting because it's an old thing, yet we're learning how important it could be. I don't know what the solution is exactly. They do serve a purpose.
Vinegar and dish soap.
Do you do that, the
Yep.
little trap?
I do. It
It
works
does.
every time.
It does work if they're in your house. Apparently, it's a good idea.
Amazing.
Okay, you guys debate that.
All right.
News Center
It
5:30
works.
starts right now.